do as much as you can to get people to say, I need Netflix, because The Man from Toronto and movies like that, that's not encouraging nobody to want to get Netflix. It's just not. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking the thumbnail. Today, we're going to be talking about The Man from Toronto, and we're making two very simple points using that movie. Stick around. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video, do all those things that people normally ask you to do. We're creeping to 1,000. I would love for you to help out your boy get to that point. Talking about The Man from Toronto, I want to make two very simple points. First, what by definition is a Netflix movie? Because with this one, there you go. This is a Netflix movie. And the other point I want to make is a very simple point of these type movies are the reasons why Netflix is in trouble. Let's get into the first point. I say all the time, like, this movie was a Netflix movie, like, you know, a normal, typical Netflix movie. And people don't always know what that means. I gotta bring you back in time a little bit. Way back in the day, we used to have bins of DVDs that would just be in the middle of Walmart or something like that. And there were movies that went to the theaters, the big blockbusters, you know, the movies everybody knows. And then there were direct to DVD movies. The Man from Toronto is a direct to DVD movie. It's a Netflix movie, and that is what we mean when we say it. A Netflix movie, in the essence, will do exactly what it advertises it will do. It's gonna do those two things and do it relatively well, depending on who you are and how high your standards are. So this one was an action comedy. The action, for the most part, was pretty crisp. The fight scenes were good. They were pretty intense. It was good enough. The comedy side of it, Kevin Hart was doing Kevin Hart things. It was pretty funny. I laughed more than I laughed at Coming to America 2. So yeah, I would say it's pretty funny. I can recall laughing hard a few times. So action, check. Comedy, check. Everything else was like, here's the rest of it. Visually, the CG was horrible throughout the movie. I think it was done to cut corners because some of those things would have looked much better done practically, but it's like, let's just throw some CG and keep it moving. And it was pretty bad CG. As far as visually, and you think about performances, who performed well, Woody Harrelson played the straight man, he did it fine. Kevin Hart was doing Kevin Hart things, he did fine. Nobody else is really memorable from the movie at all, in my opinion. The Man from Miami was pretty intense, but like that was pretty much it. Just nothing really remarkable besides your main two actors and the one area you really focused on, the fight choreography and in the action scenes, and the comedy from Kevin Hart, and like that's it. When you take those ingredients and you put them together, it just comes out to be a very average, not very memorable movie. And that is what Netflix tends to do. When you get Netflix properties that are not that level and are higher level, is noticeable. The two that come to mind, I think of The Adam Project, was, to me, higher level than this when it comes to the idea of action, comedy, sci-fi. Like, you could tell they spent more money on this. And also I think of Silverton Siege. Like, it was a higher tier Netflix movie, and it's remarkable for that. It's something to denote in your mind because it's just better than what you tend to get. What you tend to get from a Netflix produced movie is this. You know, I think of The Man from Toronto. I think of Six Underground. I think of there was a movie a few years back, like Polar or something like that, with Mads Mikkelsen, like just an assassin movie, just whatever, just throw the action together and the action will be good and some of the comedy might hit, and we'll put that out there. And that leads me to my second point. Why is Netflix hurting financially? Why is Netflix not gaining more subscribers? It's because you spend such money on content and then you give a portion of that budget to movies like this. And here's what I mean. Last year, 2021, Netflix dedicated $17 billion for content. And it's like, what you need to be doing if you're Netflix is spending less money on these straight to DVD, mid-level, low-level Netflix productions like The Man from Toronto, and put more money, more time, more effort into Stranger Things, something that gets people coming back. Squid Games, a series that gets people buzzing, talking, the biggest watched show of 2021, Squid Game. Season 2 has been announced, but it's like, put more effort and energy into that, because that is high level stuff. This is like, why allocate any funds to this? Also, and I go back to this, but it's the idea of putting all the content out at once. You're dropping all the Stranger Things. Stop doing that. Generate some buzz that lasts weeks. And anyone who's not already a subscriber will look at the buzz in the conversation and say, I need to get that so I can get in on these conversations and I can watch what everybody else is talking about week to week to week. But nah, they're not doing that. They dumping all the content at once, a method that I feel like is hurting them, as well as taking any portion of the budget and spending it on movies that come out to be subpar. I'm not saying The Man from Toronto was trash, but it definitely was not Kevin Hart's best work. It definitely was not a top tier film. It was all right. It was all right. But why spend money on something that's all right when it's not gonna generate any more subscribers? Why spend any money on something that's gonna be lower caliber than other things that you're working on? Like, make everything top tier, put everything out week to week, stretch out your content, do as much as you can to get people to say, I need Netflix, because The Man from Toronto and movies like that, that's not encouraging nobody to wanna get Netflix. It's just not. So those are my 2 points. You know, if you want to know what by definition is a Netflix movie, when people say, oh, it was an all right little Netflix movie, this is what we mean. And why y'all wasting your budget on this? This is, you know, it's just not, it's not the best. Spend your money on the best. That's all I have, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good. Because The Man from Toronto, you can skip.